Red. Ladies in red. Ladies in red. Ladies in red. Discuss the latest news, just fans giving their views. This channel is red. They see the bar and raise it, plus they rep for the ladies. Trust it's red. Female voices in football. Red. If you want to talk up, it's a red channel for me and you. Subscribe and tune into the Ladies in Red.
Hi guys, welcome back to Ladies in Red. I hope you are good. I'm so happy to say I've got Mais and Nat back on the show today. A lot has happened since we last spoke, so I know we've got a lot to get through. And of course, we're previewing the game tonight against West Ham, following that trophy win at the weekend. But firstly, I'm going to ask how you both are, and thank you so much for joining me again. I love these shows for you too. So I'll start with you, Nat. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Been busy myself. You know, doing different things, trying to get things on my channel and doing videos over there regularly. Only One United new channel, sort of. But yeah, just enjoying the football for both men and women.
Yeah, we've got plenty to smile about on both fronts, and of course we'll get into that as well. So I'll say a big up to a few people in the chat very shortly. But of course we've got the lovely Mais. Mais, how are you doing? And thanks again for joining us.
I'm very well, thanks, Soph. I hope you are well. It's been a while and I'm looking forward to the show.
Thank you for coming on, both of you. Honestly, I appreciate it. It has been a while, which is a good thing, really, because, like I say, a lot has changed since the last time we spoke, and we'll get into it. I'm just going to shout out people in the chat. Hello to Curlers. This evening, folks, can't see us losing tonight. Not on current form at Old Trafford. Hello to Curlers. Hello to Devils Rising. Reese, how you doing? This is Clash Show incoming, buzzing for this one. Evening to you, Soph, Nat and Queen Mais. Good evening, and thank you again for joining us. Hello to I Love the Villa. We're doing good, thank you. I hope you're doing well too. And hello to Dan. Dan, I hope you're doing good, mate. And Najib as well, hello. And Curtis said the Angels are back. And Kirshen is there as well. Hello to Kirshen. But yeah, we said there we've got a lot to get through. But first, I'm going to start with the West Ham game, obviously, tonight, because the team has just come out. So we're going to go through that very quickly. For those who haven't seen it, I'm going to touch on that now. So we've got the Hayring goal, Delo at right back, Lindelof, Maguire centre backs, Malacia left back, midfield trio of Sabitzer, McTominay, and then Bruno just in front. We'd think could be McTominay dropping. Who knows? We'll see what happens. And then we've got Nacho, Weghorst, and Anthony as a front three as well. So first, Mais, I'll start with you. What's your thoughts on the team? I mean, understandable that we've rotated a little bit given who we've got on Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah, we needed to rotate. We've had a very busy schedule of Barcelona. We had the Carabao Cup final, and we've got Liverpool in the weekend. So if this was the game to rotate, it was the game. So I was expecting a few names in the sheet like Maguire and Lindelof. I'm glad Sabitzer was playing because as a substitute, I think he was absolutely magnificent in the Carabao Cup final. He really broke up the play very good. And for me, I think it gives Sabitzer a bit more opportunities to do his free kicks, what we've seen in Leipzig, see what we can get a little bit more out of him. Because for me, I think we'll get a lot more space compared to what Sabitzer has played in the 3 games he has in the Premier League. So I think we might see a masterclass from him, hopefully, because I'm a big Sabitzer fan. But and Garnacho playing is also great too. So yeah, I think it was an expected lineup, but I know people are saying about giving Bruno a rest, but it's a matter of who's going to play there for Bruno.
Yeah, well, I did say, to be fair, after my show at the weekend, I said that it could be one of these games where we start strong in terms of lineups and then try and get the game done by the 60-minute mark and then be able to rotate then. And I'm hoping that that's the case with Bruno. He's there because we know how important he is to us. But then if we can get a few early goals, maybe get the game done and dusted, then we can take him off and still give him that bit of rest. But yeah, Nat, what's your thoughts on that starting lineup? Are you happy with it?
Yeah. To be honest, every starting lineup I've sort of been happy with. We know that we have to do rotation. I sort of agree with what Curlers sort of said right at the start. You know, with going into Old Trafford with the way it is, with the confidence up in a lot of people, I'm happy to see anyone play. Really, I feel like no matter who sort of plays, we're just sort of we all know our roles. We know what we're going to do, and I feel like he's keeping the squad happy as well. Even though he has to sort of rotate, he is doing it. You know, everyone feels like they've got an opportunity. I really rate Sabitzer, like what Maisie was saying, and you know, I know we'll get onto things like this, but like I hope he's someone that can like stay, and like we're hearing good reports that he wants to stay, and that's all like positive because there's like a positive culture around the club, and just long may it continue, long may we keep winning.
Definitely, and obviously it is the FA Cup tonight. We want to win the FA Cup. We want in everything, obviously, that you win. Of course you do. And after getting the trophy the other day as well, I mean, firstly, I'll ask your thoughts on that. I mean, me and Maj were having a little chat off camera, weren't we, talking about the Newcastle fans, and everyone seems to be ridiculing United for how we've celebrated or not celebrated enough according to our Bonner, or the fans weren't good enough according to him. Yeah, everyone seems to be like we're rattling people again. That, and personally, I've missed that. I've missed people hating us. Like, that shows that we're doing something right, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, when you hear about you're celebrating enough, or why are you celebrating, or this and that, it's just foolish. It's like it's a cup, you won it, we got on a plane, we came back home, and now we're going again. You know, it's not.
Yeah.
It was minimal time to celebrate, and it's a sort of like, Newcastle. I get it. That was everything. That was they're waiting to like sort of end the drought. I mean, we're waiting to end the drought, but obviously their drought's a lot longer. But it just feels like, yes, we've done it, but it's not the one we want. And I'm not disrespectful to the cup, but it's not the one we want. We want, even we want the bigger ones. We want more. They're saying. I read a report that said, until he gets 2 or 3 trophies, he's not going to do a parade. And this is what I'm saying. That's the levels. That's the standard. So I just hope, like you say, FA Cup, get into the fact. This is what I'm saying. These are, I suppose, the bigger ones. But I'm happy for anyone.
Yeah, as Lowbrag said there, I can smell the fear. You definitely can. Like, rivals are getting a bit worried again, aren't they? Definitely, 100%. And Kirshen, YT stands for YouTube, just in case you were wondering. Stumper says everyone hates us again. Yay! And Curler says Keown and showing us getting bent head shape. Got to love it. And of course, like Curler said there, please do hit the likes, folks, and obviously share and subscribe to the channel as well. But yeah, tonight, even though we have rotated, you still class it as a big game because, like I say, we want to win on all fronts where possible, don't we? And Maze, do you think that trophy at the weekend, surely it's going to have a positive effect on our mindset from now until the end of the season, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And a lot of the players who has come recently in the past so many years that Man United hasn't won a trophy, like for instance Wan-Bissaka, that's going to build his confidence even more because he had a spectacular second half. So he's going to think, right, this is my reward. I want to push further. And a lot of other players like Maguire's won his first as a captain for Manchester United. So I think it's building a lot more positive attitudes. And I do think for me, if I was going to pick a cup, I'd personally want the FA Cup or and the Europa League if I was going to pick any cup, just because I love the history of the FA Cup. It's a such. I'd like to say it's beautiful for the game in terms of you see so many underdogs over the years. Like I know this is going to break everyone's heart here, Portsmouth. Would you ever? Do you get what I mean? Like you just never would have imagined it, and you wouldn't see that anyone in. You wouldn't ever see a club like that winning the Champions League like that anymore, or the Europa League, or not even the Carabao Cup these days. So that's what I really like about the FA Cup. It's just that sentimental kind of thing, and Europa League just because it's Europe.
Mm-hmm. Well, God help rival fans if we do win a second trophy. That's all I am going to say because they've had a meltdown after one. God help, yeah. Aiken says the aim of an elite sport is to win. We must go for the FA Cup and the Europa League. Of course, you want to go for everything, and I'm not saying we are going to win the title, but we want to go for that as well. Like, of course we do. We want to go for everything. So yeah, I don't really read into rival fans getting rattled and stuff. In fact, I just find it funny because I just miss having that feeling the team's hating us, and I think Ten Hag is doing a wonderful job. I just love the guy. And obviously, I'm going to ask you girls about Ten Hag. But before I do that, because we spoke a lot about the men's team, there's a lot of positives, of course. But obviously, on the women's team front as well, there's a lot of positives going on. And I want to talk about Mary Earps. Obviously, Casemiro getting into the World 11, but Mary Earps as well. I mean, Nat, how good is she? Like, for me, I've said it for a while now, that she's the best goalkeeper I have seen in the women's game. Me as a football player myself, and this is no disrespect, but women's goalkeepers obviously get a lot of criticism, and they're always compared to male goalkeepers, aren't they? And Mary Earps, for me, is the one that has always stood out because, for me, she's flawless. Like, everything about her, I just think she just set the bar so high when it comes to goalkeeping in the women's game. I just think she's outstanding and she truly deserved that award the other night.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Mary, when she came to United and she was sort of in and out of the England team, then she lost her place, then she's come back and just taken it with two hands and just, you know,
Literally.
done what it means, you know, showing what it means. She's so happy to play for this club. Obviously, we're so happy to win the Euros, and then obviously now this award, and I'm just so like proud of her for doing it, because she really was at like rock bottom. And I know, like, if you read up about her, that's the story that you always hear, but you know, she was dropped from the England team and she's come back, and it just shows, you know, hard work, keep going. I'm like reciting a speech, but that's how it does feel, and that's how I'm happy for her, because she's done so well as well this season. She saved us. She's the reason why we're probably as high up as we are, because it's the lowest number of goals conceded by a team is generally because of her. You know, there's games where we could have easily gone behind, and she's kept us in it. And even when they have gone behind, you know, she's saying to them, "Come on, gin them all up again." And it's just, I'm so proud of her, happy. You know, it's just great being a United fan and knowing that you got someone like that.
Definitely, she's just so assured at the back, isn't she? And like, obviously, I know she's got a very good defence in front of her, but to know as a defender as well that you've got her behind you, like, it's just so confidence boosting. And I think you can see that clearly. Like, you know that you've got like a very concrete person at the back who's trustworthy, and every game is outstanding. So yeah, quality. Hello to Layla. Layla, hope football went okay. I did see you playing football outside the window earlier on doing your training session, so let me know how it went. And then Curtis said, "I told you so." For two trophies this year. I am amazing. Curtis has been saying it for a while, to be fair. I remember on a call-in show he was saying we're going to get 2 trophies this year, and he still stands by that as well. And I hope you're right, of course. But in terms of the ladies' team, obviously we're doing very well. Realistically, I'm going to ask you, Mais, first this one. Like, realistically, where can you see us finishing up this season? Because obviously there's still a while to go, still some tricky games to go as well. But like, can we win the league? Do you think we will win the league? Those Champions League spots, obviously.
I hate to be a party pooper. I don't think we will win the league. We've still got Chelsea away after this weekend, and that's always our bogey team. I think if we do manage to get a win against Chelsea, I don't see why not win the league. Because we've already beaten Arsenal at the Emirates. We've got a draw against City at Etihad, so they're both yet to play at Lee Sport Village. So they're going to find it a tough, in my opinion, coming to our ground instead of us coming to theirs. And we picked up a great 4 points in total. And I know we lost to Chelsea at home, but I think away, if we do put on a good performance, how we know we can, I don't see why we couldn't, but I'm just not confident I'm really not. But I think for me, based off Arsenal not doing so well, and also as well Man City, the dropping points hereabouts, I think we could finish second based off how we're playing this season, and I think second would be an absolute great achievement. And if we get, and I think we can potentially get to the final of the FA Cup if we don't get Chelsea next round, because I think we've got it this round with lose. So if we win that, and then we get like Brighton or Villa, all the other teams but Chelsea, I think we can win it.
So you're saying second in an FA Cup final? I'll take that. Honestly, I'll take that. Nat, you're nodding there. Do you agree with Mais on that point?
Yeah, I think at one point we do have to beat Chelsea, so I hope it is next week. But I do agree with what Maisie's saying. I think second is most likely, and I feel like obviously you don't want to be second. You don't, you want to be first if you're in it. But I still think second will be like amazing. I think that at the end of this we were talking about just getting that third.
Don't we? Yeah.
We were talking about just getting. Yeah, just getting third. Whereas if we got second, and I think we could potentially get it quite comfortably, it would, like you say, show that progress. And like you say, I want to go Wembley FA Cup, men and women. I want us both to be winning cups at Wembley. So why not? Let's go for it. We're in the quarters. Anything can happen now.
Of course, 100%. Let's go for it indeed. And I'm like you. I feel very positive. But in terms of the league, I think that Chelsea game is, if we can get over that hurdle, then I'll be feeling more optimistic about that. But that is a massive game, isn't it? Which will dictate. And in a similar way to the men's team, I think. Obviously, a lot of people saying we're in a title race. Do you two think we're in a title race? I'll put you on the spot there. 50-50. I think that Liverpool game, if we beat Liverpool, beat Liverpool, yeah, mathematically we are, of course, but we have to be realistic about it. I think if we beat Liverpool, our running from then until the end of the season is better than the other teams who are in contention for it. So I think it's interesting, but we know what it's like in this league, especially keeping certain players fit as well. And the Europa League and the FA Cup, the further we go in there, that's more fixtures, isn't it? We have to bear that in mind as well. But yeah,
can I say one point? So,
go on.
Yeah, for me, I think once we had played that Arsenal game, didn't we? And I thought, no, that's it now. But I think they're now dropping points. City are coming back into it, but it depends on others, isn't it? That's what I think mathematically, like Maisie says. But I think it does depend on what the other teams do, how we finish.
I agree. Basically, the most consistent team from now until the end of the season is going to win the league. That's the point blank of it. Like City haven't been consistent. You mentioned their Arsenal. It's like they have been consistent till now, but now they are starting to drop points and they're not looking as resolute. But they have got like Jesus coming back and stuff like that, which I think will give them a boost. So yeah, I think it's going to be a really interesting end to the season. But our target was always top 4 trophy. We've got a trophy. Obviously, more than one would be amazing. But top 4 was always the priority, wasn't it? And that's where I'm in my head. Of course, I'd love to win a title. Of course, I would. But we have to be realistic about that, don't we? But I mentioned obviously Mary Earps in the women's team, but in the men's team, I mean, there's a lot of standout players. Martinez, of course, is there. Varane's there. But Casemiro, I've got to talk about that guy because I just love him so much. Like, I run out of positive words to say about him. And I even saw a video of him entering the ground earlier, and there's a girl saying Casemiro, and it's going Casemiro back to her. I just love everything about the guy. He's just, I mean, he's so crucial to us, Maze. I'll start with you on this one, but Casemiro, what a signing he has been.
An absolute signing, like a lot. And it was funny, so many people were saying he's too old, but he does not play like he's in his 30s. He's absolutely incredible. And you know what? I think we've got a steal for Casemiro. I really do, because how he has kept us in so many games. He'll literally drop as far back as a centre back. He'll literally assist. He will score. I think he's got one of these best goals and assist rates like since he's played football, right, under Manchester United. So I think it's kind of like Ten Hag has said to him, as long as you do your job, I don't mind what else you do. And I think he's given him a bit more of a free role, which I do really like. And when he was at Real Madrid, I don't think he got the recognition because there was Caruso and there was Modric there. And I'm not discrediting the Manchester United midfield, but Manchester United don't have a world-class midfield like Real Madrid do. So it's easy for a player to be overlooked at in that kind of team compared to Manchester United. But I do think for me, he's got to be Manchester United's player of the season, without a doubt. He's got to be.
Isn't it so refreshing though? Like you said there, Casemiro, and in my head, yeah, he's player of the season without a doubt. But then you look at like Martinez, he's got to be up there for player of the season. Like he has been ridiculously good for us this season. And to be in a position where we can actually say like more than one player is up there for player of the season, I just think he's absolutely quality. And I'm just buzzing. That's just dash for a second. I'm hopefully she'll be back shortly. But yeah, Casemiro for me, I absolutely adore him. I love him, and I think it's a good point what you said. He was in a midfield where there was other big characters around him, where there's a lot of eyes on them as well. Whereas he's come to United, obviously a big signing fee. There's a lot of eyes on Casemiro, a lot of pressure, and he's just rose to that, hasn't he? And he's proved his worth now. Obviously getting in the world 11 as well, deservedly so. And you know what? And I talk about his performances and whatnot, and I know it's not all about passion and whatnot, but people saying he came from money. No way did he come from money. Just look at his reactions to the goals, the clearances and whatnot. Like, he loves it, doesn't he, mate?
Absolutely. You can tell by his passion. He literally celebrated with the fans, and he even said himself if he wanted to come for the money, he would have left Real Madrid a long time ago. And I think he's absolutely spot on, because realistically, Real Madrid would have kept him right till he was 36. And I think for me, he just probably wanted a new challenge, because a lot of players do want a challenge of the Premier League, just because of there is some of the best players in the world in the Premier League, without a doubt. And and I think for me, I think he loves it. He's got good connections. He's got good friends there with Anthony, Bruno. And it made me laugh as well. That Real Madrid, that Barcelona game, where after he had that red card and then there was that bit of a scramble, he was far away.
He walks away.
He would look at it.
Have you seen the clip where he actually goes towards it and he can see in his head, he must be thinking, oh crap, I can't do this again, and he like turns around and like just carries on walking. Like, he thought about it, but then he turns back. We have got Nat back with us. Nat, we are still just adoring Casemiro. You haven't missed a lot, to be fair. But what's your thoughts on his impact and what he's had Well, his first season really at United. Like, I'll let you summarise.
Yeah, he's amazing, isn't it? He's I agree with what Maisie before I got booted out. Everyone was saying he's too old, he's this, he's that, he's past it, but he's just been like our best player. Like, he's just everything that we've needed, everything that we've wanted, box to box. Defending, attacking. He controls the tempo though as well. Just dictating the play. It's a joy to watch him. It's a joy to watch him.
And it's mad, isn't it, when you see the drop off? Like, if Casemiro isn't there, like, it just shows how good he really is, because the drop off is just clear as day for everyone to see. Good evening, Doug. I hope you're doing good. That Casemiro walkway has been mean to death. Not getting into that again, it really has. And I saw that Akerman was doing the chant. I literally on my screen the other day, I kept singing this because it was just stuck in my head. Have you heard this chant? It's like Casemiro, la 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 la. Casemiro, like this, and I just kept singing it. It stuck in my head, and it started me off again now. Like, Kevin, shouldn't have done that. But yeah, I'll adore him. But Lichat is also up there for me. Lisandro Martinez, I think he's an absolute warrior at the back. What signing he has been for us as well. I mean, the talk about him being too short has soon vanished, hasn't it? Because he's just shut his haters up, and he's going from strength to strength, especially having a fit Varane the side of him as well. Like, that defensive partnership has just become formidable, hasn't it? And it does fill me with a bit of anxiety when I don't see them two starting together, I'll be honest. Because again, a bit like the midfield, we know how big the drop off is. But obviously I trust Ten Hag and what he's doing at United, and I understand totally that we have to protect those players as well. As I mentioned, from now to the end of the season, it's about keeping players fit. We have to be consistent, and we've got a lot of games to come, haven't we? Another player who's really shone is obviously Marcus Rashford. I remember us doing a lot of shows, and we were asked about Rashford, and we were saying like that obviously the issues are off the field as well as on it. Like, you can clearly see he's not right in himself. He seems down. Like, I mean, we genuinely, obviously we were hoping that he would turn it around, but none of us really expected him to turn it around in the manner that he has. He's been absolutely unplayable at times this season, and even those games where he's been a bit quiet and he hasn't really had a lot to do, whenever he's had a chance, he's been clinical. And we never really associated clinical with Rashford, did we? Like, it never really go hand in hand. But this season, he's just transformed. I mean, Nat, I'll start with you on him. Like, how impressed have you been with his season?
Yeah, I always loved Rashford. I was always sort of like, he'll come good. But yeah, this is like his best ever form. And it's like you're saying, it's just picking up the ball. That goal against Barcelona is just unbelievable, and that's what he's doing now. And I think obviously credit to him to coming back the way he did, but like, I think credit to Ten Hag, because I always remember that game at Wolves, and we were like, we need a player, and he just dropped him, and it was like I woke up late, and I just think that kind of like discipline, he just needed those, someone to believe in him and trust him. But this is how we're going to play. This is our standards, and he always knew the standards, but we know that there's been drop-offs at United, and so it's just setting that standard and showing him. And now this is Marcus, this is the guy. I love that I always do that celebration. Yeah, man, he's a guy. The mindset is there. I love it. He's my boy. I love him, man, from day one. So he's smashing it.
I mean, seeing him having a smile on his face again and being so positive. Like, we've said it ages ago, like, when Rashford is on form, when he's running at players at pace, like, he's undefendable. Like, what can you do, really, unless fail him? Yeah, fail him, but then they end up getting sent off. Like, he really is a weapon, isn't he? When he's on it, like, he's unplayable, mate.
Absolutely. And I think for me, Rashford has really overcome everything what happened last season. And like, we had like Ralph saying to sell him, and we knew that his confidence was absolutely shot. From what I've heard behind the scenes as well, Ten Hag was saying, I know that you've got a player in you. And apparently they had like a little bit of a bet, like to get 30 goals in all competitions. I think it was just that kind of belief that Ten Hag has. And I think Rashford, he definitely is unplayable. Like, I think even his overall game has improved. Like, we used to see it all the time where Rashford just used to stop and run into a defender. And I think under Ten Hag, you're not even seeing that as much anymore, and he's using his pace at a much more beneficial way. Like, he's finding that little bit of pocket of space, and he's literally cutting in to shoot, and that's not something we've seen of Rashford for me in such a long time, even before the confidence issues came about. So
Yeah.
I think he's definitely been a lot more of a stronger player, and he's definitely unplayable with that pace. He's been magnificent.
Yeah, I think Benny McCarthy deserves a lot of credit for the work he's done as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's added headers to his game and stuff. You never really saw Rashford scoring headers, and he's added that as well, which is fantastic. But yeah, Rashford, I'm more than happy with his performances this season. He's been quality. And as Doug said there, please smash the likes and subscribe, especially if you're new as well, obviously, to the channel. Please share a like for these amazing guests that I've got on. It's always a good chat to you guys. I always say this, but I feel like we could just talk forever. Like, we just find someone else and it just flows and we just keep going. But obviously, I am going to round it off shortly because I know people want to get ready for the game and stuff as well. I'll be honest, because my day's been so hectic, I barely thought about it until the team was released. Then I'm like in game mode because I've just been on the go constantly. But yeah, like I say, we want to win it. We want to be positive. And in the chat, I want you to get involved as well. I'm going to ask the ladies their score predictions and who you think is going to score. And in the chat, let me know as well. So I'm going to go for the team one more time just to give a reminder so people know who's playing. Rashford, Casemiro on the bench, by the way. So we've got De Gea, Delo, Lindelof, Maguire, Malacia, Sabitzer, McTominay, Bruno, Garnacho, Weghorst and Anthony. So they're the players who are starting. Mais, I'll start with you on the score prediction. How are you feeling for this one?
I'm going to go for a 2-0 win. I would have gone for a 3, but then because for me, with I'm not going to discredit it in a way, but the forward line, but I think that it is a lot more rotated and there's a lot less goals produced than what we've seen with Rashford. So I think that there will be it will be a lot less goals for this game than probably what a lot of people thought. And West Ham, I've got no words to say about West Ham. So 2-0. And you know what? I absolutely love Weghorst. I want Weghorst to score, and I want.
I love him.
Score. I love him. I love Weghorst. I give him a big hug after seeing him. That's how much I like him.
Yeah. I mean, I remember watching it live, and he's there crouching down, just like looking up at the crowd, and that just touched me. And I just thought he loves it. He absolutely loves being at United. Would you take him next season, mate? Would you extend it and keep him?
Yeah, as a backup option to another striker, why not? I'd personally do it because Burnley don't want him. It's evident because he's disrespected Burnley, and I understand Burnley fans not liking him for that reason. And I think we could get 15 mil for a backup striker who I think his pressing ability is sensational. His link-up play is great, and I think he plays a lot better in the 10 role. So even if he to give Bruno a rest, play him in the 10 as that a bit of more of a midfield option. So yeah, I would keep Weghorst personally for me, and you want players who want to play for the club. And Weghorst was crying when he won the trophy, so that really says a lot as well.
Yeah, I really like him. I think I know he's goal scoring prolific as you'd like for a striker, but as you said there, I think he offers a lot more to this team. I think obviously his link-up play is very, very good. He works tirelessly, which is invaluable, really, especially up top when you want to press high. He definitely does that. I would take him. I actually think you'd probably get him for a bit less than 15 mil, to be fair. I saw people saying on Twitter maybe around the 10 million mark. So I do agree with you. I'm not saying I'd have him and he'd be my starting striker. I think he's a useful one to bring on, especially when you're in those games where you need a bit more height, maybe. I do believe that Weghorst, it gives you something different, doesn't it? But Nat, firstly, would you keep Weghorst? And secondly, what's your score prediction?
Yeah, no, he'd be a good backup, like you're saying, just to be in and around, when the game like this, when you got 3 games in a week, you need someone to rotate in, or like you say, a different option to bring off the bench if you're playing a different kind of team. Yeah, I think like what you said, so we can get him for a lot cheaper. I don't even know, they might even try and negotiate even cheaper. I don't know, but
yeah,
around that, maybe 8 with add-ons, 10 or whatever. I don't know. It's not for me. But yeah, I do want an out and out though. He's all right for like bringing it on all this, but I do think we do need like that proper clinical 9, and we know that they're going to look at it. We know that they want class players in, so I don't know who it'll be, but we know that there's options there. So yeah, in terms of the game, I think I'm going to go 3-1. I think I want Weghorst to score as well. I think Weghorst. I'm
Go on,
thinking
Weggy.
though, will he bring on the Rashford? I don't know. So I do think if Rashford does come on, he'll get a goal. So he might be like the last one who comes on and get a goal. But then I think I want Sabitzer to score as well. I just
I like Sabitzer.
I just hope that, like, he's one I would definitely keep as well. So, I don't know. So I'm going to go those three. Whoever he brings on Rashford, if not Rashford, Anthony.
Like it. My score prediction. You know what? I think I'm going to agree with Curlers. I'm going to say 2-0. Hopefully we can keep a clean sheet. I know we've got a rotated back line, but West Ham haven't been the best going forwards this season. They haven't been the best defensively either, as Mace kind of hinted at earlier. They haven't been great, but it is a cup game. You'd think that they're going to want to get some silverware. They want to try and cheer their fans up a little bit. Going to Old Trafford, every team seems to turn up at Old Trafford, but our form has been relentless, hasn't it, recently? So, I'm going to say 2-0. Goal scorers, I'm going to go for Weggy as well. I'd love to see a Weggy goal. And I think I'm going to go Bruno Fernandes for a goal as well. Bruno obviously missed a good chance at Wembley the other day. He cracked me up, Casemiro, after he won a trophy. And Casemiro was like, why didn't you pass to me back then? Like, I'm like, mate, you've won a trophy. Like, leave it now. But you can't leave it. But yeah, I think Bruno's due another goal. So I think Bruno and Weggy would be my options. But I'll take anybody. I just want to go through that next round and keep players fit. And hopefully it's a smooth game for us. But yeah, a positive one. But girl, sorry. Thank you so much. And guys in the chat, thank you so much as well. We have got a lot of positives. So we've got 2-0 there. We've got a 2-0 there, 3-0, 3-0, and I think we had a 3-1 as well. So everyone's going for United win. Hopefully we're all right on that. But yeah, ladies, thank you so much for joining me. As always, it's been an absolute pleasure. It's flown by, to be fair, that half an hour, and I know people want to go and get ready for the game, so we are going to do that. But before we do go, if you wouldn't mind just shouting it off to your own channels as well, so people can give you a follow. Nat, I'll start with you. Let people know where they can find you.
Yeah, so you see my username there, Natalie_17, and I've got a YouTube channel as well, Only One United. So yeah, go and check that out.
Go and check it out. Loads of regular content. A lot of done around the women's team as well, which is amazing to see. And like we said earlier, hopefully a trophy going in their direction. Maybe even a title. Who knows? We'll see. And then we've got lovely Mais. Mais, thank you so much for joining me again. Let people know where they can find you.
Thanks for having me on, Soph. It's been a great show and great to catch up with Nat as well. My YouTube channel's Devils United and my Twitter's at 2_Mais1012. I changed my Twitter handle recently, so I'm having to get into the hang of it.
I noticed that earlier when I tagged you. I was like, is this the right one? And I looked and I'm like, oh yeah, I got it right. Yeah, guys, go and follow these two amazing ladies. And of course, if you haven't followed me, I'm Soph Richo on Twitter, Soph Richo with a kiss on the end of it on Instagram. And of course, the channel is Ladies in Red, so please make sure you hit the sub if you haven't already. Apologies if I've missed any chats. I'll try not to. I'll try and get through as many as I can. But if I have, just drop a comment afterwards and I'll always reply to you there. But all that's left to say is enjoy the game. Come on, United. Let's hope for a few goals. Take care, guys. Cheers.